A possible lab test in 1963 could have changed American politics. In the 1950s, pulmonologist Dr. Mary Ellen Avery at Johns Hopkins studies why premature babies die of RDS. She and her team learned that lungs of premature neonates are missing surfactants, causing respiratory distress syndrome or RDS and death. She concludes that high detergent levels in the amniotic fluid determines lung maturity when these infants are delivered. In contrast, when levels are low, this leads to RDS. Jacqueline Kennedy is pregnant with her third child in 1963. She experiences preterm labor and her doctors are planning an emergency C-section to deliver the infant. Due to the risk of RDS, Dr. Avery is consulted and arrives at the hospital. Jackie's obstetrician knows of a lab test that is still in the experimental stage. Dr. Avery had brought a sample of amniotic fluid from a mother who prematurely delivered a baby who turned out healthy. She places several drops of this fluid onto a coin and watches it spill over and onto a counter. She is then given a sample of Jacqueline's amniotic fluid. When this was dropped, it beaded up and remained on top of the coin because it lacked enough surfactants. She tells the doctors that detergent reduces surface tension, allowing fluid to coat the lungs, thereby keeping them from collapsing. With this test, the obstetrician delays Jackie's C-section to give more time for the fetal lungs to mature naturally. When Patrick Kennedy is delivered a few days later, he has no breathing difficulties. Thanks to Dr. Avery, the fetal lung maturity test is conducted by clinical labs today, and infant death by RDS is rare. Dr. Avery is credited with saving close to 1 million infant lives. She is awarded the National Medal of Science from President George H.W. Bush in 1991. This tale shows how a clinical lab test on the verge of its discovery in real history could have changed American history had the test been available. Patrick's father is shot and killed a few months later in Dallas. Could Patrick's survival at birth have altered the president's assassination a few months later in 1963? Would his brother John Jr., who died in a plane crash, be alive today? As JFK's remaining male heir, would Patrick have entered national politics? One alternate history scenario is that in 2016, Patrick Kennedy defeats Hillary Clinton to win his party's presidential nomination for president. He then defeats Donald Trump in the national election. American politics today is changed. Stay tuned for more Mind Portal lab tales.